I'm going to be looking a little bit at the soil and what sort of soil we have in the orchard. And actually it's really simple, and it's something that you can do at home in your garden or any growing space that you have, because I'm going to use really simple things. Soil is really important. It is the key to what you can grow. There are three main particles in soil. Clay, I'm sure you know what clay is, but you know, it's the stuff that you mould stuff out of. Very, very sticky. It's actually the smallest particle, but because it clumps together, can be quite hard. Then we've got silt, which is a little bit soapy, and then we've got sand, like on the beach. What we'd like is a mixture of all of them. You'll be very, very lucky if you have that. But we're going to test and see what soil we have, and then that'll determine what sort of things we can grow. First thing, I'm just going to dig a bit of soil. If you dig a little bit down, then you'll get what the actual real soil is. On the top, you've got loads of leaves and lots of stuff composing, so you don't want to just get that. You want to get down quite a lot. If you've got very clay soil, it's very hard to dig. And it's very scientifically called the hand test. So I'm just going to squash it in my hand. As you can see, this is sticking together a bit. I'm making a sausage, a soil sausage. It's sticking together a bit, which will tell me there is quite a bit of clay in there. But it's crumbly as well, which shows me that there is going to be some sand, and it does feel a little bit soapy, so there will be some silt. I'm going to show you how to do the glass jar test. And with this, we're just going to fill the jar about a third. Going to put in some water. So it's about 2/3 full. Very scientific. A bit more. Make sure that you put the lid on very tight, because you're going to be shaking it. Oh, can you hear that? I think there's definitely some sand there. It's very crunchy. You give it a good shake. And here is the big reveal. So we looked at soil sampling with our jam jars, and this was to find the texture of the soil. This one is the one that we dug up, and it was by the apple tree. You can see the 3 layers of the types of soil. The bottom layer is sand. That's actually the biggest particle. It's not very nutritious. It doesn't have a lot of nutrients in it, and it drains really well, which could be good, but you don't want it to drain too much, so you don't want loads of sand. But it's really, really easy to work. It's really fine. The next layer is what's called silt. It's the next biggest particle to sand. So this one, again, it has got quite a lot of nutrients. It does get compacted when you walk on it. It's the muddy sort of layer. And then the smallest particle, surprisingly, is this one, the clay. So clay is the smallest particle, obviously, because it clumps together, it's quite big. This holds a lot of water and it's very, very nutritious, has a lot of nutrients in it. Anyone in South Birmingham will know we're plagued with clay soil, and it's actually very, very hard to work. So although there's a lot of nutrients in it, it can be a bit of a bugbear. It's quite interesting, because as you can see, about half of it is clay, and then the next half is split quite evenly into silt and sand. That's pretty good. If it was a third of each, it's what's called a loam, and that's the best soil to have. Here we got this one directly from the ground, and again, it's not that different. A lot of clay, got a little bit more silt here than sand, so we have got some drainage here, a bit more muddy. And then this one I got from what we call a berm, and it's like a raised bed. Very, very little sand there, so this will have had lots of stuff put in it to make it even more nutritious and not to drain so much. If you've got a very clayey soil, very, very hard to dig, what I did in my clay soil in my garden, I grew potatoes, and they break up the soil themselves naturally. There are other things you can do. There's no dig methods you can do. There's loads of stuff you can do to help with clay soil. Very, very sandy soil, you want to add compost and mulch to it to really enrich it and to hold it together. Another soil test that we can do is how acidic the soil is. Think back to your chemistry lessons at school, and we're looking at the pH of the soil. So is it acidic? Is it neutral, or is it alkaline? The best that we want is neutral, but unfortunately it's the most rubbish one for the actual experiment. It's not very exciting. I've just got in here, same soil. I'm going to mix it with a little bit of water. Just mix it with my handy stick. In one of them I'm going to put a little bit of vinegar, and in the other one I'm going to put a little bit of bicarbonate soda. So vinegar is acid, so it will react with alkali. So if this soil is alkaline, it will fizz. Converse is true of bicarbonate. So this is more alkaline. If there's acid in the soil, it will react and fizz. We sort of don't want to fizz because that would mean it was neutral. There's my bicarb. No fizzing, so that's pretty good. We don't have acid soil. Do we have alkali soil? Vinegar. Any fizzing? No. Oh, a little bit of fizzing maybe. So maybe it's a little bit alkaline. The best is pH 7, that's neutral. And we want to know that because some plants really like acid soil, some really like alkaline, some prefer neutral. For example, blueberries love acid soil. I've got neutral soil at home, and what I'm doing to make my soil around my blueberries more acidy is I've got my Christmas tree, and I'm just chopping it up and placing it around the blueberries, and that will compost into the ground, and that makes it more acidic for that plant. Our soil here, slightly alkaline, pretty neutral. That means that actually most plants will quite like it.